Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to Love Chat with the Love Twins. This is Gladys, and we're going to wait for Michelle to make her way over here. You know what? Let me take down this frame. It's looking kind of distracting back there. It says love, love, love. That's why it was up there. All right, so I'm just waiting for Michelle to join me. There she is. Let me go ahead and invite her. It's not letting me. Hold on, let me see. Michelle, it's not letting me invite you, so hopefully you can ask me to invite you. Not sure why that is happening lately. Okay, hold on. Here we go. And approve. I always want to cross my fingers, make sure that that works. All right, let's see. We have a great topic today. There we go. We have a really good topic today that I cannot wait to talk about, which is how do you date even when you're busy? And look, it's an important topic because if you're like us, you are busy. It's just the way it is. And we know that it can be challenging when you are working, and some of you are also single mothers and you've got other responsibilities. Some of us are caregivers, so there's lots of hats that we're wearing. Hey, Michelle and Michelle Gallagher. And we want to make sure that we're making time for the things that we say we are committed to, the things that we say are important to us. So with that, having said that, we were listening. Hey, Helene! Oh my goodness! Hi, honey. So good to see you here. We were listening. We want you to know that we're listening. And so the people that have been sending us their questions, the people who have also been talking to our team members who are coming to the Irresistible Woman Live. Irresistible Woman Live. That's in May, by the way. May 17th to 19th. We're coming this weekend. This weekend, I cannot believe it's this weekend, December 8th and 9th in Fort Lauderdale, at the Gallery One Hotel for the New Love in the New Year Today event. This is what you've been saying. These are some of the things that you're saying you hope we address at the event, and we absolutely are obviously going to take a deep dive at the event. But this is an important topic. So, Michelle, how does a woman who is busy, like nobody who's on this, who's watching this, a woman who's busy, how does she make time for dating? And why is that even important?
Well, I mean, it's true. Nobody who is here on this page is probably just waiting for the next thing to give their attention to. And I apologize for the lighting. I don't know what's going on with the lighting in my house, but we're just gonna go with the lighting because that's what's so.
And you also sound a little bit far away.
I do. I don't know.
Oops, now you're frozen.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. All kinds of things are turning on and off. So I'll speak loud. I still don't have my voice all the way, so that might be part of it. But so how do you find time to date when you're busy? You think about all the things that you give your time to, right? The things that are a priority to you, and how there's no question that you will make the time for that. Like those of us who like to get our nails done, mine are not done right now, so I'm gonna put my hands down. So if you like to get your nails done, you make time for that. If you like to get together with your girlfriends, you make time for that. If you like to, a lot of people are into binge watching, you make time for that. So it's not that you don't have time for it. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time when we say we don't have time for something, it's because we haven't really made it a priority, or it makes us uncomfortable. And we've been talking a lot about that on the Facebook Lives, about how our brain works to avoid as much discomfort or dis-ease as possible and really move us towards what we're comfortable doing. So what you're comfortable doing is all those things that I mentioned, then that's where your attention is going to want to go. So why it's important is because if you want to attract an amazing relationship, and if you want to be with a man who's going to love you and he's going to make you a priority, then you've got to make dating a priority too. It's the only way it's going to happen. Yes, I know that some people just bump into somebody on the street, or the FedEx guy is the guy that they marry. That's not going to happen to all of us. The rest of us are going to have to make an effort to go out there and really put ourselves on calendar. This is the days, these are the times, that I have for dating. So that's, I mean, that's one of the things really to focus on.
Absolutely. And I think it really is important to remind ourselves that, you know, our work and our children and our parents and our family, we're not saying you don't pay attention to those things. As a matter of fact, those of you who come to the event and those of you who have gone to any of our events or gone to any of our trainings, you know that we really talk a lot about this either or. Either I can date or I can take care of my family. Either I can, you know, grow my business or go up in my career, or I can make my love life a priority. And we really refer to this, and it's really important that you hear us when we say this. Anytime that you're talking, I can either do this or I can do that. I either have time for this or I have time for that. I have money for this or I have money for that. You're actually engaging in a scarcity conversation. Now, we do not live in the land of rainbows and lollipops and unicorns. We live in the very same world that you do. And we know that there are times where one thing has to take precedence over the other. But notice how I said precedence, or you're going to give it more attention, but I didn't say priority. You can have multiple priorities in your life, your love life being one of them. But the moment that you say, I can either do this or that, the thing on the other side of or kind of dies. Think about it that way, like you've just cut off the possibility of that actually happening. So one of the things that we really stress with our clients is how do we create a this and that versus this or that. And it's not just like a this and that mentality. It's a this and that life, a this and that which has to start with the this and that mentality and perspective. But it really is anytime, and I know sometimes it drives our clients crazy, but we're like, okay, we hear you, and there's one of my clients now can attest to me saying, let's look at how we can do this and that. Because the truth of the matter is that there is never going to be a time where you're just waiting for something to come at you because you have absolutely nothing to do and nothing that's taking your attention. So that's the first piece of mindset. And like I said, we'll take a deeper dive into that at the Irresistible Woman Live. So I just
want to Love in the New Year event.
Oh my gosh, the new love. You know why I keep saying that? Because people keep asking me, what is it? Irresistible Woman
Live? I know,
so
I'm
the
getting
new
messages
love
too.
In the New Year event. That's the one that's this coming weekend. We're going to take a much deeper dive. And so one of the things that you can be doing this week, so, you know, if you're writing notes, if you're driving, don't, but definitely watch the replay and come in at about 10 minutes. And one of the things that you want to notice this week, because one of the things you'll hear us say this weekend is you cannot transform what you cannot see. And so just notice how many times during the day you are in an either this or that conversation. It might surprise you. For some of you, it might annoy you how often you're either this or that. Today, I chose to work out. I chose to clean my house. I chose to go run some errands. And I was busy today. But what I didn't want to do, which is what I've done in the past, which is either I'm going to focus on my work or I'm going to work out today. Like I didn't want to engage in that conversation because that conversation is limiting, and then I end up not doing something that's very important to me, which is remaining healthy and active. So just jot down how many times, take a little tally, and actually take a tally and put the this or that, like actually write down what you're choosing between several times a day. It's a really great exercise for having some awareness.
Right. And yeah, Kimberly, we're excited for the event too, and we can't wait to see you there. Can't wait to give you a live hug. The other thing, so Gladys mentioned scarcity. So, and this is another thing that triggers people. Look, if your coach isn't triggering you, then they're just not pointing out the stuff you can't see, right? So, or the stuff that you see and you don't want to see. When you're in a this or that conversation or everything else in your life, whether it's work, whether it's the kids. I was a single mom. I dated many years single, and I understand the challenges of finding childcare, having to do homework, and still finding time for you. And it wasn't until I started making myself a priority in my life, when I saw that I am worth being able to put myself first. Putting myself first doesn't mean everything else becomes 10th place. It just means that I know that there are times where I had to be focusing on my kids. Now it's my business, my husband, my relationship. Even those of us who are married, if we don't put our relationship first, then we end up having problems that come from thinking that, oh, he understands, and oh, he'll, it's just for a little bit, and then before you know, it's weeks and months and years, and you haven't even been. And we were talking to somebody the other day, hasn't been on a date with her husband in 6 months. So when you put yourself first and you realize that you are worth it, and that you being worth it doesn't mean that somebody else is worth less than you are, then you'll start to do things for yourself, like Kimberly and all of you who are coming to the event this weekend, really investing time in yourself so that you can get the skills that you need and want out of life. We tend to attract a lot of really powerful, successful women, and we know believe me, we know how many hours it takes to create a successful career and a successful business. And that's why we can say with a lot of confidence and a lot of conviction that if you want to make it happen, if it's important to you, not just in words, but you're really going to put your investment in time and money sometimes behind what you're saying is important, then you will make it happen. And so also, as you're doing a tally of this or that, see how often your needs are being put second place, third place, fourth place between something else that you feel you have to do instead.
Absolutely. And then there's one thing that we're actually going to talk about it a little bit more in another Facebook Live this week, which is about commitment, because that was one of the things, one of the big things is, how do I find a man who wants to commit? And the baseline, like the foundation of any relationship is a commitment to making it work. And, if you're even listening to a fraction of this, or you're even on our email list or on the Facebook page, it's because you really do want to have a loving, happy, committed relationship with a man who also wants that. Very important. Got to start sending really clear messages to God in the universe. You want to be in a loving, committed, happy relationship with a man who also wants a happy, loving, and committed relationship. And the truth of the matter is, when you're putting your love life to the side, they're not bad excuses. Your business is important, your family is important, your children are important, other things are important. But you also need to commit to yourself, because you another person, a man or anybody else, to be more committed to what you want than you are. Like it's I always say it's unlikely, unfair, like unrealistic to think that there's another human being outside of you who's going to be more or as committed to you than you are. And so if this is something that's important, let's look at the calendar. Let's look at your life. And if things are, and Michelle and I, we've said it before, we'll say it again, we don't believe in balance. There's never going to be a time in your life where everything is like the perfect, everything is just in perfect alignment. And no, what we're looking for is, how do I harmonize my life so that my personal life, my spiritual life, my health, my everything is working in harmony with one another. All of these parts are working in harmony together, so that I can have the totality of the life that my heart truly desires. And it requires being committed. So sometimes it is going to look a little bit different some weeks than other weeks. And like Michelle said, if you're calendaring it, if you're saying, okay, this is the day, I don't know if she's still on, but we have a friend who does, Zoom or Skype dates, right? When she's first getting to know the person, because she has children. And so they'll both be having tea or coffee or whatever while they're meeting on Zoom until they can meet in person. I mean, that's being creative, and it's lets yourself and the other person know that this is important to me too. And this is what I can do today. And on the weekend or Thursday night, I'm available to meet in person.
Right.
Holly and Kate and Benita.
Hi, Holly.
Just want to say hi.
Kate. Hi, Kate. All right. So the
Michelle, I
last
can't
thing
hear
that
you.
I'll have to contribute about at all.
Hold on, we can't hear you. It sounds like you're underwater. Try again.
I don't know what's going on.
I know, but it doesn't make sense to keep talking. But now it sounds better. I just don't want you to talk and talk
Okay,
without
can you
us
hear me
being able to
now?
hear. I think it's back. Better.
Okay, that I was saying that one of the other things that I wanted to say about this, or the last thing that I'll contribute on this is, so we've talked about scarcity. We've talked about looking to see, you know, the priority that we place ourselves in. We've looked at making time for the things that you want to put and not living in the either or. There's one other thing that contributes to, I don't have, thank you, Holly. I don't have the time to date because I'm so busy with X and fill in the blank, 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 all the things you're busy with. And that is again, another thing that may trigger you. It's being in a state of control. So what do I mean by that? One of the ways that we've seen in our experience, I've done it in the past, and I was able to change that so that I could have time to do other things, is controlling from a standpoint of proving that I'm the only one that can do this. So I'm the only one who can do this project. I'm the only one who can lead this meeting. I'm the only one who can watch my children. When you look at that from a control perspective, then you've put yourself as the only one who can do all of this, trying to control outcomes, trying to control groups of people, or trying to control something. And so you spread yourself so thin that it really does give you the experience that you don't have time for everything. But when you start learning how to let go of control, which is something else we're going to be talking about in the New Love in the New Year event, letting go of control. And a lot of us don't realize, I didn't realize I was being controlling until I realized I was being controlling. So, and then I was like, whoa, really, that is a way of controlling. So trying to control everything and trying to be everything to everyone, and also coming from a energy of trying to prove it all, to also limit the time and the energy that you have. Because if you're controlling everything, you're not going to have the energy that you're going to need at the end of a day, a busy day, to go get yourself ready, get yourself out there, and go on a 1, 2, or 3 hour, if it's really great, more date. So that's something else to think about. And you could also schedule, like Gladys was saying, the Zoom calls. There's coffee dates. There are ways to make it work, but you first have to get underneath it all to see what's really going on. Because a lot of times what's happening in the foreground is not really what's going on. There's this whole other world going on in the background that's having it show up that way in the foreground. So Gladys, that was the last thing I was going to say about that.
No, I know. It's just, it might be my connection. I keep not hearing you.
I think
so.
But
On the computer, it looks like it's working. So I'm just going to go by the computer. Actually, I just realized today I can see you on the phone, and I wasn't able to see you before. So, so one of the things that you said that made me think, and I really want to share this with the ladies who are coming to the event this weekend, the New Love in the New Year event, the mindset. You know, we talk about mindset a lot, so we're going to be talking a lot about the mindset and the heart set and how they're connected. A lot of you have read books, you've taken courses, you've maybe listened to podcasts and watched videos of other people, and they're giving a lot of like tips on top of, and we talked about this, I think it was on Friday or Thursday of last week, where to do those things on top of the underlying conversation of scarcity, or the underlying conversation like Michelle was just talking about right now, to try to pile those things on top of, might give you a little bit of a result. It might, create a little bit or temporary, that's what I mean, a temporary result. But until you get to what's in the background, like I'm trying to control, usually control is triggered by fear. What is it that I'm afraid of? And we hear women say all the time, I'm not afraid. And we're like, okay, why are you reacting that way about fear? Like, what are you afraid of about fear?
Now I'm afraid.
Because it's like, I'm not afraid, and we're like, okay, let's just talk about it. Yeah, it's usually it's a very subconscious, subtle thing that's happening in the background. So we just want to let you know that we're going to be, I mean, that's the kind of deep dive stuff. This isn't just going to be a bunch of tips and tricks thrown at you, things that you've heard before. As a matter of fact, if you hear anything that you've heard before and it hasn't worked, we want you to raise your hand. And actually, that's a great, for those of you who are coming to the VIP breakfast, that's why the VIP breakfast is so important, because that's really where you get to have some time with us, where we can actually answer your questions. We're going to be doing that throughout, but the VIP setting is more intimate. And so you'll have more of a chance to ask those type of questions and get some one-on-one. But that's the kind of, but I've tried that before and it hasn't worked. And if you're courageous enough to do that, then we'll actually take a little bit of a deep dive with you and see, okay, let's find out what it is that's blocking you from having the result that you want. If it is true that you're doing everything that you know, right, and there's no right or wrong, but that you're doing everything that we're saying, trust us when we tell you everything that we're going to share has been tested and proven first in our lives, which is why some people are like, oh, I worked with so and so and I worked with so and so, and so I you know, I've gotten this before. It's impossible because this program has this whole course has been created from our own personal experience, and of course the scientific research and all of that we've done. But if it's not working, we just get curious about why is it not working? Why are you attracting the same type of man? Why are you having, you know, more than twice the same experience in dating or relationships? Let's get curious about it so that you don't have to keep having your heart broken, and you can start having fun, and you can start experiencing what you really want to experience in love and dating. Otherwise, you'll start to get resigned, or it'll be another, you know, it'll be a fun 2 days, but we want it to be transformational. We always say we want you to take the information that you're going to get and create a transformation in your life. And that's what this weekend is all about.
So we want to make sure that you are there. If you're local, if you're in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, some people are coming from the Keys, some people are coming even further away, then you want to make sure that you, Gladys, can you go ahead and post the link again in there? We're going to post the link, and remember that there is a limited amount of seating. So when you click on the link, you're going to get, you're going to go to a page. It's going to allow you to be able to go and register. And then what you want to do is when you get your email that you're registered, is right away dial the number or respond to the email. Gladys, is it both? They can either call or respond to the email?
Actually, we're really asking people to call and speak to one of the team members, because okay, that's, you know, it's so easy to send an email and say I'm coming, but the team members are also getting information and giving you extra information that you need for the event.
That, yeah, they're giving you information.
Make sure, so you're either going to call questions. Yeah, exactly. Just to get, because then they take, that's how we know all these questions that you're asking. That's how we're getting all the content for these Facebook Lives, is because our team is asking, what is the thing that you most want to get out of this event? What is your biggest challenge? Because we want to make sure that you sitting in that seat, you're like, everything that they're saying is exactly what I want and need to hear. We want you to have that experience. So you want to call the number, the number's right on the email. And also, if one of our team members calls you and you haven't called, can you just text them back or call them back? You know, I promise you, we're not like, you know, telemarketers trying to sell you, you know, a vacuum cleaner. It really is tied to the event. And that way they can get your information. We want to make sure we have your last name for your name tag, because I've never seen in any of the events that we've ever done this many people with the same first name. It's incredible. Like even unique first names. So we want to make sure that we have your last name, and so that we have enough materials. As Michelle said, look, a lot of times you hear free and you think, oh, it's a free event, you know, I can go to the next one. We don't do this. We don't do free events. And what we're going to teach are the things that people have paid anywhere from $2,000 to $20,000 to learn from us, whether it's been in a group or in a group setting or in a private setting. And so we want you to know that just because it's free, please don't think that it's Mickey Mouse, or it's not going to be intense, or it's not going to be worth, you know, thousands of dollars of training. We are committed to giving you the best that we have in these 2 days. And so we really want to make sure that the women who are coming are committed. We're talking about commitment today, that they're committed to being there. And if you say that you're going to come, that you actually show up, because otherwise we are going to have to tell some people that they're not going to be able to come. We only have a certain number of seats.
And that's, yeah, that is, that we're not just saying that as some kind of marketing thing to get you to respond. There are going to be a certain number of seats, and then we've got to cap it out because the room is only so big and the hotel will only allow us to put so many people in the room. So that's another reason to register and to get there early so that you can make sure that you have your seat. But it's really important. We wouldn't want anybody to take the time, get their hopes up that they're coming to this event, and then because you didn't call and confirm it, and we don't have you on the finalized list, that you get there and you're not able to come in, because we want you to be there. If that's what you want, we want you to be there, and we promise you're going to have an amazing time.
And come as a VIP, because then you get to get early seating and in the front. So whenever Michelle and I go anywhere, we go as VIPs, because we know that we're going to sit in the front. We're going to get extra time with the person doing the training. And so that's another opportunity that you have when our team members call you, is to upgrade. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that we've added, a whole bunch of bonuses and gifts that you get when you come as a VIP, because we want you to feel like a VIP. So we will see you there December 8th and 9th. The link, I just popped it in the group. Fort Lauderdale. We will be there early. Please get there early. We can't wait to see you in person. And until our hearts meet again,
always remember that you are loved.
Yes,
bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye.